Hello, good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adelaide Oval, which is bathed in a beautiful sunlight as the sun goes down on the capital city of South Australia. My name is Dave Webb. We are joined in commentary tonight by the great Phil Herden. How are you, Phil?
Yeah, good evening, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Looking forward to this one, a tradition that spans 15 years, the Don McSweeny Aboriginal Lands Cup, the APY Lands versus Maralinga. A fairly yo-yo kind of battle in recent years. They've both had their victories and looking forward to a great game tonight.
Well, I had a chat with the Maralinga boys before I came up into the commentary position. 12 hours on a bus for the Maralinga boys, and they are straight back on the bus tonight. So their recovery is going to be interesting, especially the ruck. They'll be curled up somewhere, you would think. Give them the whole back row, let them lie down.
Absolutely. I hope it's a big bus. And the APY land's probably even further from memory.
Yeah.
I know that when the Eagles travel up there, they fly to Alice Springs and then it's a 4 or 5 hour drive from there. So long distances travelled to one of the great sporting stadiums on the planet, the Adelaide Oval. And I'm lucky enough, Dave, that I get to look after a lot of Oz kickers from around South Australia when they come and play here. And boy, they're excitable. And I can tell you, when I saw these two teams come into the change rooms tonight, they were just as excitable as those young Oz kickers, a chance to play on this magnificent facility.
Well, I was talking to some of them, and there's a couple of first-timers out there. That's the Maralinga team in the black and the teal and the white on a Crows night. Let's brave of them. And in the mainly white jersey is the APY Lions. The APY Lions, they play on dirt. They don't see grass very often, so the fact that they're playing on this, what is, you have to say, is absolutely immaculate turf, is an absolute treat.
Look, absolutely. I mean, they would play Saturday afternoons in the middle of daylight. The winters up there would probably be fairly warm during the day, and they come down here and play a cold winters Friday night. Last night they had some rain to deal with. Tonight I think we've got clear skies, a chance for them to showcase their talents.
Just as we see them start to line up, we can see the Maralinga team. They've linked arms. Now, they got down here on Tuesday. They've done a lot of work. They've done some team building stuff down at Woodside. They worked with their respective SANFL sides. Maralinga, I think, is Norwood, and the APY Lands with Woodville West Torrens. But you'll see them linking arms as they get ready to play. They've been working with Charlie King, the great Charlie King, during the week, and one of the things they're doing is they're showing unity together to start to bring an end to family violence. There's been a lot of talk about it up there in the lands, and this is their show of strength. This
week is far more than just a football game. There's a lot of education that goes into this, a lot of rewards that come into play, a chance to, I guess, see the talent pathway that might lie for some of the young ones through the Sandful, and then a chance to watch some AFL footy tonight. The game is the climax of it all, but it is a huge week on many counts.
So we see everyone linking arms, including the officials. The officials are from the Adelaide Footy League, and they do the amateur league around South Australia. Well, the Adelaide metropolitan area, really. There's a couple of first-timers out there as well, and I had a chat with them before they go, and they're just as excited about anybody else to play on this stage.
I don't think it really matters what your role is. To come and do something on the Adelaide Oval is always special.
Even ours.
I mean, this is the first time you've called something at Adelaide Oval?
It is the first time I've called anything at Adelaide Oval.
You've called everything everywhere, and tonight Adelaide Oval is off your bucket list.
Yeah, stick a fork in it. I'm done now. I can retire happy now. It's all good. I am looking forward to the football. Just while we get ready, the Maralinga team is made up basically of two different sets. So you have Thevenard, Western United and Coonabah, who are the Sejuna teams. They play in the Sejuna League. Coonabah is the oldest Aboriginal team in Australia, which is they far spread out in Dulkner, Mimley, Freegan, Piplajara, Bukitja, Armata, Mutajulu and Murpitja. So they're from all over the place. And yes, that is a fair old journey home. Flying to Alice Springs and then a 4-hour drive, that's a long way to come and play football.
It is a huge distance for those of us that complain when we have South Adelaide playing up at Elizabeth and it's a trip of about 50 kilometres and it's just too far. Should add that Maralinga have won the toss. They will be kicking to the cathedral end, the scoreboard, the northern end. Conditions are probably just about as perfect as you can get to play. Can't see any breeze at all from up here. It's a dry ground, we know the turf is in immaculate condition for AFL level football. So the stage is set to showcase some skills.
We should just say as well, this is the Don McSweeny Aboriginal Lands Cup, and that is named in the honour of the late SANFL life member and passionate Aboriginal ambassador Don McSweeny. So we're letting lots of people know just about the legacy of this cup. And they've had people go on and play from this cup and go and play professionally.
Well, one of them will be wearing a Port Guernsey this weekend, Don Barry.
Yeah.
He played for Melbourne, came back and played a couple of these games, went and played Sandford for Glenelg and got picked up again by Port Adelaide at AFL level, and he's got the promotion through the season and is having an impact. So I guess the role models are there, the pathway is there, the opportunities are there for these kids to take it on board.
And the best on ground today will be awarded the Gordon Nayley Medal. Nayley was the grandfather of South Adelaide Magarey medalist Mark Nayley. He was an Indigenous Australian who was among the 60,000 Anzacs who fought at Gallipoli in World War I. So that'll be a massive honour as well to get that hung around your neck at the end of the game.
Yeah, so we're just having a moment of silence now in memory of Don McSweeny, who of course was instrumental in setting up this competition, and rather ironically about, I think it was 3 or 4 months after this Aboriginal Lands Cup was named in his honour that he passed.
Wow.
And his legacy lives on through this game and through some of the wonderful programs he put together, especially on the Eyre Peninsula.
So we have players moving into position. The players themselves will be getting ready for this one. We are getting ready for this one. There's a crowd coming in.
Well, they pressed the siren to go about 8 minutes ago, and some of the areas are first in, guest best seats.
Yeah,
so
the general admission rush is on.
And it'll be amazing what they're going to get later on. But we are underway, and your caller is Dave Webb.
So we are underway here at Adelaide Oval. APY will get first hands to the ball. Maralinga looking to break early. So Maralinga will be attacking the Cathedral end. APY Lands will be attacking the City end, if you know Adelaide Oval.
Bronte Ingemar has it off the half-back flank, hands it off to Leslie Mundy, kicks it down the members' wing. APY Lands are in the way. That was good interception by Oscar Bridley. He's got some help, but no, he's just kept it in bounds. Good mark there by Travis Smith. Too far out to score, you would think, but he'll send it inside 50 with a penetrating kick. And the Thunder, as they call APY Lands, have taken a mark. High kick and hope. And I suspect that was Nelson Peters. As you may have already picked up on the screen, the APY numbers are going to be an interesting challenge through the night to pick up. But we're going to give that one to Peters, the first score of the game. APY Lands 1, Maralinga 0.
So Maralinga will look to come out. Lots and lots of space on this oval.
And certainly I think compared with what you're used to as Winston Gingers gets it across to Total Webb. He's going to go on the far side, which is what we love because it's a long way away.
It is a fair way away.
But a fair battle on that outer
Oh, there's
side
a big hip and shoulder over there. See whether the umpires keep their whistle away today. She's a hot potato down there. Umpires are letting it play though. It's going to break out for Maralinga. They'll look for their first inside 50 of the day, but it will be shut down by the Lands.
So the Y-Lands long penetrating kick covers the length of the centre square. APY Lands almost run onto it, still got possession of the footy. About 80 yards out. Now they'll get the kick inside 50. It's a one-on-one contest on that 50-metre arc. Spills in front, who can pick it up? But in the end, I suspect that's Robert Woodford who was tackled. Ball comes back now to Mitchell Lachlan, who shows a bit of dash. He looks for the members' wing. Good one-on-one contest. Battling there was Ringo Drover for Maralinga. APY Lands just keeping it in front. Needs some help. Got it. Well picked up. That was Winston Ginger. Across now to Neville Bryant. Short kick finds the target. And this will be a set shot on goal to Swain Gibson.
So what would you say about 35 metres on the angle?
Got to do with that sponsors logo.
Drop looks good. Just didn't come back for him. But they just keep that scoreboard ticking over. two behinds. Early doors on this one. And the Thunder will look to get out early. They will go over to that far side again. They'll come back inside to Woodford. Woodford will thought about the bounce, then will come back inside. Has to come back on himself, will get his handball away, but again, the APY Lions have managed to turn it over in midfield and turn around. A couple of bounces, bounces well for him. And the Thunder again will be able to move out to that fat side. Time and space. Penetrating kick towards the 50, players rise, goes over the top of the both. Then a strong run out of the back and looks for a target, just blazed away somewhat. And the Thunder again will try and spread it over to the other side.
So, a couple of one-on-one contests. APY lands now through Oscar Bradley, gets the hand pass across. Thunder are trying to move it. Their movement inside forward 50 has been pretty good. Just a case of how they finish. Devishi Thompson, too far out to score, finds his target in Billy Cooley. He lines up. Can't take the mark. And now it's Winston Ginger from Maralinga. Has some help. We've got a Phantom 25, I think, who's got it for the black and teal. Hot footy in the middle. Here comes APY, that's looking to build something again. Maralinga haven't gone inside forward 50 as yet. Inside 50 count would be about 5-0. But here's a chance, 2-on-1 contest if it spills out. Working very hard there was Ethan Ingerman. He makes the contest, but APY lands will clear each time, only momentarily. This looks to be Mitchell Hart, sends it inside 50. Maralinga have got 3-on-1 here, but it's that one with the footy for the Thunder of the APY lands. They'll pick it up. They'll go across goals. That is highly dangerous. Picked up, spin, shoot, and there's no, touched off the boot.
Well, that would have been a great way to open the scoring, the major scoring, but just touched off the boot. And the APY lands who look comfortable in attack.
I suspect that was Mitchell Hart, number 10, who had the shot. Best chance of either team so far.
Another hot footy. This is inside 50 for the Thunder. And there's a free kick just outside the 50. Well, the kick will be outside the 50. Puts it on the boot. Sends it towards the goal square. Marking competition in the goal square. Just brought to ground, and the APY Lions will try and find a way out of there. Beats a couple. Has a bounce, lowers his eyes and finds a target.
That has a little Neymar just to finish off the mark there. APY Lions taking this hill. They have the lead. It's 2-1. No goals scored as yet. As you can see, the wonderful bright illuminations of the Crows advertising. Of course, this is a curtain raiser to the AFL, Crows Geelong, which will be on in a couple of hours from now. But right now it's the Aboriginal Lands Cup. Don McSweeny Aboriginal Lands Cup. APY Lands heading to the right of your screen with a 2-1 lead. Trying to get it inside forward 50. Instead they get it out of bounds where it's going to be a throw in. 6 minutes gone to the contest, and Dave, we're still looking for our first goal.
Yeah, but you would say if you had to choose which way it was going to come from, you would suggest it would be the man in white at the moment. Just their inside 50s just racking up somewhat. And as I say that, the Thunder will come away, kick into midfield.
So they've come into the middle. This is Craig Hansen. Has one to beat. Well caught. And again, the APY Lands, they look pretty good on defence. Of course, commentators could just say that they cough it up, but only momentarily. Looking out there for Caelan Kelly. It spills to Winston Ginger. He centres the ball in and out of the hands of Mitchell Hart. Again, the APY Lands are doing very well with the clearances so far. This is Swain Gibson through the middle. Picked up by a teammate. Has a loose man. They could have raffled that, Dave. And instead of lining up for goal, they're going to go to the loose man 15 metres out. And this is going to be the snap and a miss.
He got both posts.
He did. Not too often you see that. Do you get 2 points? Maybe not.
Play on.
So probably the best opportunity we see in the game to goal there. Loose play on the goal square, in the end the snap. And it's 3-1 to the APY Lands.
So goal opportunities few and far between for the Thunder, and they've nearly created another one for the APY Lions. Handball off, just can't get it under control. But there is a free kick in back play. So Dale Lyons will line up for goal. He certainly turned his back and went.
So now APY Lions, this is, they're not going to go for the snap. They realise from the last one, let's just go back and take the shot. This is very gettable.
It's on the angle, but 25 metres out.
You probably don't want to take too much time to think about it in these surrounds. Don't let the occasion get to your son.
It's on its way. Umpire moved and he hits 2 posts. That's got to be a record.
Posters galore here. Opening 8 minutes of the Don McSweeny Aboriginal Lands Cup. APY Lands 4 behinds. Maralinga just the solo score. It has been down this riverbank end, the southern end, the city end of Adelaide Oval as the kick comes in. Looking out there for Ethan Ingerman. He recovers well. They seem pretty keen to centre the ball, Maralinga. Now they've got a chance. 2 players with the ball. Who can pick it up? In the end, neither Lions nor Hart could. And here come the Thunder. APY Lands have picked it up. Nice little kick on the outside of the boot. Forces the one-on-one contest. And a chance. Thunder to go forward. The nice little inside kick. No one can take the mark.
Oh, that's a big tackle.
Big tackle
Wrapped
on
him
a
up, but
big
he's run
man.
out of
In
it.
the end, he does go down. Umpire says he got rid of it. And we're going to see...
Oh,
and if you notice something, this is something that we have not had one free kick paid so far.
we had a couple.
We had a couple?
Yeah, just for holding behind the ball and stuff. But I think that's the first ball up we've seen.
Okay, first stop.
The umpires are letting them play.
As we do see one of the Maralinga lads coming off, drooping his shoulder, which is not great to see. Might be an early injury. Teams running with about a 4-man interchange.
Well, that is a great mark
Surely
inside
now.
the goal square. Surely now, as you were saying, we will get our first major of the day. Dale Lyons, who's obviously the target man up front. Runs in straight, kicks it true and straight and through. I thought it was going to go in the stands, but the nets are up.
The nets are up, yes.
The pre-game nets are up in front of the Adelaide cheer squad, who were here and setting up and getting ready to go for the night. But our first major of the game goes to Dale Lyons. So the opening 10 minutes of this one, it's kind of been one way.
Yeah, you have to say reward for effort. APY Lands have dominated, especially the field position. Just the one inside 50 for my recollection for Maralinga. But we're back in the centre. Let's see what can happen from here. It is just a 9-point game. APY Lands, though, with that clearance. Kicking towards 55 at 2-on-1 contest favouring the Thunder. Again, a nice clean pickup. Where's the cavalry? Not there on this occasion. This should set it up for Ethan Ingemar to at least see it out of bounds. Force the stalemate. And we'll have a throw and it'll lob about 45 metres out. There's got to actually be somebody there for the throw-in. It wasn't really.
There was no real nomination of Ruckman there, was there?
No.
And a big hanging kick right onto the AFL logo. Great. And then that will be picked up by Heffernan, who'll send it into the middle. That will be picked up by Thompson, who then will fire it towards a 50. Good lead, good mark. Clunked it. Just off centre. Yeah, good kick from here.
Yeah, this we'll soon find out the range. This is going to be from 45. Of course, we're used to AFL games or Sandford games here, and you know, easy to get. But of course, this is a different level of footy. Comes in with confidence. I tell you what, that is a booming kick.
And we went through post high.
That's hit the net about a third of the way up, but a bit wayward.
Direction wasn't there, but my word. So Ginger will look to bring out Maralinga. Just scuffed his kick somewhat. And the APY Lions just, I was going to say they'd be happy to see it through to the boundary, but didn't quite get there. And we will have another ball up over on that far side.
6 scoring shots to 1. A little bit reminiscent of last year where the APY Lands jumped out They kicked 2 goals, 3-1. Eventually it was the APY land 7-12-54, beating Maralinga 4-5-29. And I think over the years, I haven't got the official record though, but I think the APY lands have had the better of the series. When Maralinga won 2 years ago, it was considered an upset.
Oh, just went out on the full and the free kick gets picked up eventually. Snap into the centre, and he will get it. He will work hard. I think that's Thompson. No, 15. Glenn Woods.
Straight in front, 20 metres out.
Drop looks good, straight and true. Umpire moved, made us think, but second goal of the night to the APY lands. Glenn Woods with his first one of the night.
He's starting very strongly. That game last year, just to give you the award winners, the Gordon Nailey Medal, we mentioned that it goes to the best player on the night, and that was Zeldin Fielding from the APY lands. Maralinga's best player was deemed to be Lionel Wilson. Zeldin Fielding went on to have a pre-season with Sturt, just to get a bit of a taste of Sandford Macca's League football. Big thump.
Well, that's something we've seen from the APY lands when they get first hand on the ruck. It goes on absolute mile holding the ball, and APY lands can launch another attack towards the city end. Woods will find himself in a little bit of space. Turns quickly, looks for a target. Puts it into the hot spot. Pack was caused. Mundy can come away with it. Mundy happy to go out to the far side. Hung it out there a long, long time. Gave the defender from the APY lands a long time to get on top of Edwards. Handball down the wing, and again they will look for another 50 entry. Just over the top. Ball bounces awkwardly. Still there. Still going. Soccer moves down there. It is the World Cup. Another snap around the body. Marked on the siren. But had already gone through for the behind. Almost had a kick after the siren in our very first quarter. But we looked towards that city and a fair amount in that first quarter. So you would give the advantage, you would say, to the APY lands.
Huge. I mean, like to use cricket analogies whenever I call sport here at the Adelaide. We go up to see the other team bat in terms of go to the southern end, but unless there's a 10-goal gale that we don't feel up here, that's been a great quarter for the Thunder from the APY lands, Maralinga. And their coach, Timmy Murragilly, and Roy Day, assistant coach, will reassess and have a look at things again. And I think the injured player for Maralinga might have been Glenn Lyons. He was the last one out there to the huddle.
Has been an absolutely wonderful day in Adelaide, and it's turned into an absolutely beautiful evening as the sun goes down and Adelaide gets ready for the AFL game. But our focus right now is on the Don McSweeny Aboriginal Lands Cup. Maralinga, you would think, just they haven't been able to get hands on the ball every time. They just haven't been clean enough through the midfield and been able to get realistic inside 50.
Yeah, their half-forward line is really struggling. APY lands have got some great defenders around half-back, and I think only one occasion has Maralinga even got close to within range, and they got the shot off on that occasion, not accurately, but you can see APY lands now, they're getting some penetration with their kicks. They're working out there's probably going to be someone sitting about 10 to 15 metres out straight in front of goals, and that's how they've put them on the board. They get a short break here, 15-minute quarters. They have to be done pretty much within the hour from here. So it'll be a fairly quick turnaround, I think, for the second quarter.
Just as in that first quarter, just seeing Dale Lyons from the APY lands, he's really sort of turning himself into that target man. And if he doesn't clunk it himself, he's bringing it to ground. And when he brings it to ground, there's plenty of rovers around there. Glenn Woods is around there. He's done us all a favour. He's got that wonderful blonde mop on the top, which makes him identifiable.
Here's the note for all the lads: when you play football and it's being called, make sure there's something about you that identifies you.
Something special.
Because we love that.
Yes.
That's
how we work it out. As far as
in fact, there's one out. I've got to point this out. Maralinga, who's just heading towards the half-forward line, number 9 for Maralinga, Craig Hansen. I love this. We often see players with the fluoro orange boots or the fluoro green boots. He's got one of each.
I think
Fantastic.
they're inside and outside. I think whenever he faces us, they're green and the inside is yellow.
That is awesome.
They are some natty shoes that he is wearing. But Winston Ginger impressed me in that first quarter as well, working along the half-back line. Tough when you're under that much pressure, but he seems to have a cool head, and I think he'll grow into this one as we go.
I suggest the best players from Maralinga will be their defenders, because they're the ones that have been getting most of the football in the first quarter, but there is still 3 quarters to go. They've changed ends. Let's see if that changes the fortune for Maralinga. They're heading to the right of your screen now in NITV. The APY Thunder will be heading to the left. They hold a 17-point lead. Thunder with the clearance heading to that outer side. The Jack Odie stand, the Gavin Wanganeen stand. Wasn't he a great ambassador role model for Aboriginal football, Gavin Wanganeen? Is he? Well, Maralinga trying to get it forward on that outer side. Nice work, good teamwork to send it inside forward 50 on this occasion. Only the second time they've been there for mine. Little Socceroo style from the APY lands, just trying to get it into space before picking up. It's got about 40 metres without being picked up. Players throwing themselves at the footy. In the end, someone says, oh, this is football, I can use my hands here. They have picked it up. That was Ernie Winless, but it's been intercepted by Mitchell Lachlan for APY lands, who are in the white with the orange socks and mainly fluoro orange boots to boot. They bring it back inboard to Tyrone Hart.
So Hart will look towards the scoreboard end. Again gets brought to ground, and
almost
poor injured player
yes.
coming off, nearly gets run over. Again, they will go out to that far side.
So there is no injury time. This game is set to an exact clock because it is a curtain raiser game. So officials are a little bit reticent to call off the game because that's just playing time lost.
Good mark, just outside 50, and that is not far away from the Eddie Betts pocket. I know a lot of people, I was talking to the Maralinga boys, and they certainly are determined to try and get one from that area.
So this is Leslie Mundy. You mentioned him in dispatches early. He's kicked it to the far side. Now, that is a throw-in. Some grades of football in Adelaide, Dave, they run with a last disposal rule. If you kick it out of bounds or handball, it's a free kick. Others, it's a throw-in. So every time you call a new level of football, you just got to sit back and watch and see what happens.
See how it rolls out. APY lands again looking to get into that forward 50 and cause problems for Maralinga. Talking about it coming last off the hand, but it will be a ball in, and so we're doing AFL rules.
Yes.
So ball in a dangerous position, and the APY lines have been dominant in the stoppages at the moment, and again they will get first hand and they will get out. Pulled as he is kicked towards the goal square. Still just couldn't get it down clean. There was a target there, just didn't quite get it. Goes through for a touch behind. So
not much has changed from the first quarter. APY lands with the first score. It's a behind. They extend it to 2-7-19. Maralinga just the one behind, and the men in black, white and teal go right down the middle trying to get something going. It's going to be a big hit. Forces the ball free. Working hard in there, getting a good hand pass out. That was Vaughan Day. He's moved it on to Bronte Ingerman. Comes back to Ingerman now. He's got a free play. This is probably Maralinga's best chance. But in the end, let's stop. Prop, let's head for the top of the screen. Here's a chance. Oh, in and out of the hands. I thought he dropped it, but he got it back. And I think this, in the hands of Mitchell Hart, is the best chance for Maralinga to get their first major of the game.
Had a couple of goes at it, but I really liked how they didn't rush and they lowered their eyes. They found targets. He ignored a lead that came out, but you know, he's down there as that one will go straight true. Top of the net. Goal umpire will come, make the signal, and Maralinga finally on the big board.
That'll be a relief to all and sundry from Maralinga. And they've got that first one on the board, and it's amazing how quickly that score narrows in Aussie rules if you can get a major. Back to just a 2-goal game, 2-7-19 APY lands, Maralinga 1-1-7. 4 minutes gone of a 15-minute second quarter.
Off we go again. First use of it goes to Maralinga and just pumped towards the 50. APY Lands, as per usual, will be able to come away from it. Just lost it a little bit, so the soccer skills start again. Keeps it in front, does very well eventually.
Yeah, well done, lad.
A little handball inside. Again, the APY Lands just seem to be able to corral that bobbling ball a lot better than Maralinga at the moment. Spins on a top, then will look for a target inside and finds him. Good football. Simple football and selfish football.
So this is going to be a shot, what, 35 metres out. This will be on the edge of the range. You see there the wonderful Adelaide Oval historic scoreboard. Comes in now, 35 metres out, has the distance, not the accuracy. And APY Lands have their 8th behind, 2:8:20. Maralinga 1:17.
Well, they are certainly making the goal umpires earn their money tonight. They've been moving left and right. As Maralinga will look to try and corral the ball under control, which they don't manage to do. Just a little bit of a wayward kick, and Maralinga can clear.
Trying to go direct through the hands. Here's a bit of a juke and jive. Sets it up from 40 metres out, and again another wayward shot. So 3 behinds this quarter to the APY Lands to that scoreboard end. Just the one shot to Maralinga, but it was a goal. So they're not winning field position or shots, but they're winning on the score. But here's another chance for APY Lands. Can they set up the open play? Beautiful 1-2. 15 metres out, squares it up, offhand. Is there a soccer in the goal square? No, there's not. Maralinga to clear.
That is some speed from that young man at the back. But again, they just can't get out, and it's going to come back in again. Down towards the Polly pocket. The Port Adelaide pocket over on this side, the Adelaide Crows one on the other side. So we will have number 22 shooting for goal. He's not on our list, so good luck, young man.
Phantom 22. What do they call that in bingo? All the 2's 22.
It's 2 little ducks, isn't it?
2 little ducks, that's it.
So 2 little ducks will straighten towards goal, puts it on the left boot, pushes it too far, and another behind.
And you can see at the moment, it's 2 goals to 1 APY Lands, 10 points to 1 APY Lands, all adds up to a 15-point lead. About halfway through the second quarter, the last 5 minutes, Maralinga are just struggling to clear it out, and that's not going to help.
So the 2 little ducks are going to have another go. He's a left footer, so not the best side for him.
He knows
so he
it.
decides to look in field and lowers the eyes and finds a target. See whether they can do better from a little bit closer in. As Nelson Peters will be faced with the old scoreboard and the big scoreboard, the big new scoreboard, and the cathedral and everything that is beautiful about this Adelaide
Just
Oval.
got to stop looking at those and look at those 2 white sticks and slot it.
Comes in, off the right, comes off the side of the boot. Might work though. Still a hot potato in there, and Maralinga just trying desperately to get out of there.
High tackle, Maralinga.
That will help them.
I should have. He'll probably tell his lads and the coach, no, I wasn't going for goal. It was just an intended pass to the top of the square.
Wonderful disguise.
Yeah, very much discussed.
Everything looked like a shot at goal right up until the end. Just a little stumble, but he manages to come with it.
Philip Kugana with the mark, and at long last, Maralinga are going to get outside of the defensive 50, I think.
No.
Maybe not.
They're going to get caught up again, and the APY Lands will continue to keep the pressure. Lowers his eyes, has a big lead. Great mark, chest strong. This is the boy with the big leg. We saw him kick from about 14, kick at about 70.
Yes, the turnover was always going to cause issues.
Big, strong mark. I think it's Travis Smith.
Reckon you're on the money there, Dave.
So expect him to kick this one over the cathedral. Straight, true. Umpire doesn't move. Travis Smith will score his first of the game. He got his sights in the first quarter. And that one was as good as you will see later on tonight.
Yep. Yes, big night ahead. Crows and Cats, Thursday night AFL football. A little bit later there will be 45 to 50,000 in this stadium. At the moment, probably about 5 to 6 of the die-hard fans getting the best seats early. We're watching a pretty entertaining game. With on McSweeny Aboriginal Lands Cup, Maralinga will get the clearance. Looking for a mark on side in forward 50. Nothing doing. This is where APY Lands have been so good, mopping everything up. But Maralinga are keeping the ball alive for the moment. A lot of players around it, swerving one way or the other. In the end, I think APY Lands will clear. Maybe not. Here's a chance. Brought in now by Gibson. 20 metres out, tap onto the goal square. Would have been a goal, but it went the wrong way. There's a body slam of a tackle.
Play on, the umpires love it.
Tyrone Wingfield, I think that was one-man wrecking ball. Kick over the edge, takes
around the corner,
bounce.
I think. Oh, that post. The posts down there at the city end. Are they wider than normal?
No, you can swear they and the ball have got some magnets between them, the way it's been heading towards it today. But another behind to Maralinga.
So the APY Lands will come out of the defensive 50 again. They do play nice, patient football. As I say that, Egan will go. Look in field. In danger of turning it over, but they might have got something out of it, and they will again. Hung it up there, but they will be able to rebuild as Wayne looks out onto the far side. And he's turned it over. So Maralinga will look for a forward 50 entry into the pocket. Couldn't quite get it, so they'll have a ball in down there by the Victor Richardson gates.
Brian Ingama with the turnover from Maralinga, which gives them a very rare stoppage inside their forward 50. But look at all those white Guernseys around the ball.
They've been very, very good at clearing messy ball. Handball's on. If he wants it, he gives it. Again, they will find another option down the wing.
Inboard if he wants. Here he comes. I reckon that's Smith from the earlier goal scorer.
Just moving back into half forward. Maralinga again, trying to making coming out of that forward 50 as hard as they possibly can make it. Good kick into space, but the APY Lands will read it first. Oh, good footwork. Then he will get it going forward. Out towards a 50. Again, good footwork. Handball in ball. He had Smith, just couldn't quite clear the fingertips of the Maralinga defender. Then Smith will have a bounce. Has to get his handball away. And he didn't quite get there. Maralinga happy to play on.
2-on-1 contest favouring Maralinga, but guess who's winning the battle right now? Cavalry arrives for the Thunder. I think just by holding it up are winning in the end. It was Basso Edwards who was tripped up, and he'll get the free. Couldn't really get a truer centre wing if you tried, right in front of the interchange gates. And the Maralinga support staff kick along, and that's out of bounds on the full. Wasted opportunity there, and a chance for Hector Raymond from APY Lands in the white and the orange to bring it back in board.
So they will go back in board, and again we're just seeing more patient football from the APY Lands. I would imagine that's because of your team, the Woodville West Torrens, and the training they had during the week.
Well, that in itself would be an experience to go and train at the mighty Montine Hyundai Oval at Woodville, home of the mighty Woodville West Torrens Eagles.
Not that you have any bias towards them at all.
Not that I've ever worked for the club at all, no.
So the APY Lands will look for another inside 50. Again, just can't quite get there, and Maralinga.
Ginger.
They're going to try and get out, and only just will get over there, and then ricochets back in, arches his back, comes back around, turns in field, looks for a target and finds the target. And Leon Kenny will line up.
This will be right on range, I reckon. Couple of players on the goal line. No one with a lead.
Ball goes up, goal umpire moves a little bit, and another behind.
So 21 points the lead, 3-11-29 the APY Lands, Maralinga 1-2-8. I've got my timing right. This is the final minute of the second quarter. Half time is imminent. Can Maralinga do something about this margin? But no, it's going to be the APY Lands who a kick off the side of the boot. I think that was Caelan Kelly. out of bounds, and I don't think it was on the full. Didn't look on the full from here. I think it's going to be a throw in.
Yeah, it wasn't on the full.
So we're the ruckman.
Again, we have a throw, and nobody wants to ruck.
Well, Smith is ready to go. Just not sure anybody from Maralinga wants to go against him.
Well, Smith loses out. Maralinga will look for a way out, and again, the APY line's forward pressure is good. So they look to lock it into the 50 again. They will concede a free kick, and that will allow Maralinga hopefully to relieve the pressure. And
I think that'll be your half-time.
So that is half-time, and I think if Craig Woods has anything to say at half-time, it will be just scoring shots. So the scoring shots, 14 scoring shots to 3 as we go into half-time. And you would think that Craig Woods will get his players in and just try and straighten the kicking at goal. As the sun has gone down, the lights are on for this Don McSweeny Aboriginal Lands Cup. We haven't had a multiple goal scorer yet, as Phil Herden's just gone off to do his Auskick duties. He will be back joining us in the second half though, but as the teams come together on it's turning out to be an absolutely wonderful evening at the Adelaide Oval, and the crowd is starting to come in and fill up, and the usual pre-game stuff is happening. This will be absolutely massive for these players who have made a fairly long journey this week. As we said, the Maralinga team were 12 hours on a bus to get down to Adelaide. They arrived on Tuesday and spent some time with the Australian Army down at Woodside Barracks. They also had SANFL teams that they worked with. Maralinga worked with Norwood, the Redlegs, and APY Lands were with Woodville West Torrens throughout the week. They also spent a lot of time with Charlie King, one of the legendaries in sports broadcasting, Charlie King, who worked with them through the week and talking to them about family violence and their responsibility as men to try and end the family violence issues that are a scourge of Australia at times. Just to take some responsibility as to how they act, and they've thrown themselves into all of the programs. I was talking to Charlie before we came to air, and he's very proud of what he gets through and what the boys got through this week. As we get ready for this second half, again, Travis Smith from the APY Lands, who's the big full forward, a big target, and he roams between full forward and centre half forward and really presents as a target for the APY Lands as they try their best to kick a little bit straighter than they did in the first half, we would think, and Maralinga just have not been able to get out of their defensive 50. Just the pressure, the forward pressure from the APY Lands has been immense at times. As we said, it's been rather back and forward over the years. The winner of the Don McSweeny Aboriginal Lands Cup. So the respective coaches are Craig Woods. He's assisted by Liam Tunkin and Ruben Burton for the APY Lands. He'll be in there. He'll be happier, I think, with how that first half went. Terry Muragili, assisted by Roy Day for Maralinga. Probably just, I mean, it's not over, and the fact that the APY Lands have just not really been able to kick straight enough for Craig Wood's liking has really kept Maralinga in it. We are going to step away for a very short break, and we will be back with you for the second half of this Don McSweeny Aboriginal Lands Cup live from Adelaide Oval. So welcome back. We're about ready to go for the third quarter of this one. Phil is still doing his NAB Auskick duties. Phil gives a huge amount of time. I'm going to talk about him while he's not here. He just gives a huge amount of time to AFL in this this state. Certainly somebody who you will see around the grounds and works really, really hard with the juniors of this great game as we get ready to go, and the siren sounds for the start of the third quarter. So APY Lions will be attacking the right of your screen again. Just a reminder, they are in the white Guernseys with the white shorts. Maralinga wearing the black, white and teal, attacking the left of your screen. Maralinga will have first look at it, and then they will lower the eyes, send it across the front, just cannot bring the mark in. Will manage to turn, will manage to straighten, sends it at goal. Just pushes it to the right-hand side, and another behind for Maralinga. And they are finally starting to get that scoreboard ticking over. That's how they want to start the third quarter in the second half. So 1 goal, 3 behinds, 9 trailing the APY Lions, 3 goals, 11 behinds, 29. The APY Lions look again to build out a defence, and that's something that they've done very, very well, is patient but fast football. Again, they will go out onto that far side. Woods will look down the line. Just couldn't quite bring it in, so we'll have a ball in. Bang on about centre half. Again, no real designated ruckman. Maralinga will finally get the clearance. And then they will look for another inside 50. Good lead, good leap, comes to ground. Again, it's messy, and again, APY Lions will manage to try and clear it. Always seem to be able to find a handball out of danger. They do again, but he did not get a call. And he is holding the ball and was absolutely flattened for his trouble. So Vaughan Day will kick over the prostrate opponent, who is literally left lying in his wake. Finally manages to get himself up, and Vaughan Day just stares down the barrel of the posts. Starts his run up. It's on his way again. It gets pushed to the right. So 1 goal, 4 behinds. He did not get the call and was absolutely poleaxed. And he's going to have a Swain Day, who is his brother, will have a shot from right around the Polly pocket. Fairly decent crowd behind him as well. Again, comes off the boot to the right, just didn't come back, and will hang out there and will continue ticking these points over one at a time. Big long kick, and again a good mark from Maralinga. This is how they would have wanted to start the third quarter. Lowers the eyes, finds a target inside, then they will get another shot at goal. Vaughan Day taking it in turns, the brothers. Much better start for Maralinga. Again, it just pushes to the right. Aim at the left hand upright. APY Lions again will look to come out. I think finally they will have got out of that 50 and see whether they can get out of there. And the ball just bounces around again, and APY Lions, as we've said before, managed to get it. Bounce just eludes him, but again they managed to pick it up. Wonderful turn inside by Dare. Then it will come inside to the 50. Had a couple of handoff options, puts it on the boot in front. Mark taken, bang in front. Paid for it, good brave mark, going back with the flight of the ball. taking his time getting up. Is healthy enough to take his kick though. Bang in front, probably about 30 metres out. Woodford will start his run up. This time the goal umpire can come back to the middle. Point the two fingers. Wave the two flags in the APY lands. Thanks to Robert, Woodfords will push their lead out a little bit further. It'll be a little bit of a heartbreak for Maralinga, where they worked so hard and managed to keep that pressure on for a good period at the start of this third quarter. 5.5 minutes gone. We're off again. First hands to it by Maralinga, and they will get the clearance. They just can't get over the top, and the APY lands can build from centre half back up towards this broadcast side. Woods will do everything he can and will earn the free kick. Looks like a good play when the ball is on the ground. Woods will then look towards, he went for the sit. Where's your sense of adventure, umpire? He went for the sit on the shoulders of Travis Smith. It's a long, long way up. Even from up here, you can see he's a unit. Smith will just throw it onto the boot to the front of the goal square. Big competition there. Again, it's just bouncing around, soccered towards goal. Ginger will come away and gets hit hard a couple of times and stands there and takes it, does Glenn Lyons. Then we'll just casually kick it out to restart Maralinga. So he will run past the Max Bashir stand. Excellent shepherd given to him. I think we're on to 4 or 5 bounces at the moment. Goes with another one. Keep running, young man. Past the Gavin Wanganede stand. Then he will kick it over the top. Byron Pickett-esque down that far wing. Now the APY lands will have a go. Again over on that far side. Just a tired looking kick inside. Had the handball option. Decides to go himself. Then will pump it towards the 50. He's going to drop into the APY land's hands. Thought about playing on. And Peters will send it forward to Smith, and Smith found himself in a fair amount of space. This one you should almost start turning the scoreboard over already. Smith has kicked well tonight. Goal umpire hardly moves, and Smith will add to his tally for the night. The APY lands will push out to an even bigger lead, and Maralinga, every time they try and enter the forward 50, just gets shut down by the team in white and orange. So off we go again. APY line's looking to clear again. Maralinga will break with Windlass, and Windlass will send it forward, but cut off in defence. APY lines with strong markers at both ends, but Maralinga can go again. Big long kick to a target. Just no lead for him. Sat and waited for it in the APY lines. Pressure again comes from Maralinga. Then they will get there, snapped on the boot. That one will go through, and Maralinga finally showing signs of life. Their second major of the day. Vaughan Day, after a couple of set shots, decides that he's just going to snap one. And does very, very well. APY owns 5 goals 11, 41. Maralinga 2 goals 6, 18. AP Wildlands will get another clearance, so almost kicked to himself. Little handball out the back, and then again they will look towards that half forwards, centre half forward area. Dare will turn and look for a target and just decide to go to the contest at the top of the goal square. Big, strong Dale Lyons clunks it just outside. It's got to be a bonus for a team when you lift your eyes and there's nothing on and you just put it on the hot spot. And your big key forward will clunk it. And then he will stroke it over with his left foot. I'm assuming that's Dale Lyons. It is the number 22 who we don't have listed. If it's not Dale Lyons, I apologise. If it is Dale Lyons, well done. And if it's not Dale Lyons, well done on kicking a couple of goals in a game that you're not even playing in. Well, you are playing in. Every time Maralinga seem to get a foothold or a handhold in this game, they just seem to get knocked back down a step or two. Again, ruck is the least favourite position. This one came from centre half back to ruck, that one, I think. They'll get another go at it. Does his own roving. Then we'll look for the clearance with Day. Can't quite get there. One-handed pick-up over on the far side, and again he'll roll around and look for a teammate as a target. Puts his mate to work, and again another little close quarters battle in the AP Wildlands. Again, look like they've managed to handball their way out of it. Good tackle, chase and tackle, but ball will spill free, and then they will go forward towards our number 22. Just taps it towards a danger area. Then we'll chase. Arches his back, gets away from him, then looks for a midfield target. Now they will look inside 15. Stuff hands, goes to ground again. Will pop out the back. Again, nice one-handed pickup. Oh, that's a high one. Vaughan Day just already caused some problems with his tackling, and that one just on the illegal side, just a little bit high. AP Wildlands will find Kelly. Managed to get away and then carried on with the tackle. So Craig Hansen, the green and orange boots, will win the free kick. Sends it forward, just goes over the top. Trying to find his way through was Swain Gibson. Hits a free kick. Goes for his big man target. Again, it will come to ground. Outside of the boot. How's the bounce? The bounce is good. There is a goal of the day contender. Off the side of the boot and found its way home. And the two flags will wave. Ethan Ingemar. A wonderfully inventive goal on the outside of the left boot. Rolled it through. So off we go again. Picked up again, just look for the bounce. Didn't quite get there. Handball in ball picked out by Cooley. Cooley will then send it on to Burton. Stewart left it behind, and Again, it's just a little bit messy, and Wayne will soccer it forward. Good tackle and paid. Play on, and again the bounce just goes away, and the siren will beat everyone. That is 3/4 in the book. APY lands 6 goals, 11 behinds, 47. Maralinga 3 goals, 6 behinds, 24. So they brought it back. It's certainly not over for Maralinga. They certainly can claw their way back into this, and APY lands didn't look as dangerous as they had been in the first 2 quarters of this one. Certainly got pulled back. Wonder whether Maralinga can bring it back and just make the APY lands rue their wayward kicking in the first quarter of this game. The coaches will get them in for the final time. This glorious Thursday night at Adelaide Oval. Curtain raiser to the AFL game where the Crows will take on the Cats. Preparations are underway. The crowd is coming in. Big night expected here tonight. Big crowd expected here tonight. The siren has sounded. I think plenty of time for this one. There's 27 minutes before they have to be off the ground, and 15-minute quarter, so there'll be plenty of time for presentation. And the APY lands in the box seat at the moment as we enter the 4th quarter. Maralinga just had some glimpses of hope, just a small shimmering light at the end of the tunnel. Every time they thought they got a step closer, the APY lands would manage to find some time and space and free shirts in the inside 50, and they would just push away again. The teams will break the huddle. So for the final time, APY lands. The white Guernseys and the white shorts with the orange socks will attack the left of your screen. Maralinga in the black Guernseys with the teal and white V will be attacking the right of your screen. Can Maralinga pull back this deficit? 23-point deficit. And off we go. APY lands will get the first clearance. Good handball towards 50. Bang on 50. Puts it on the boot. Goes to the right. Takes a bounce. Almost found its way through. Outside of the boot. Dangerous kick. Punished as it is taken by Burton. Burton thought about giving it off. Now will straighten. Now 30 metres out, bang in front. Lots of advice from his teammates. Pulls that one for behind. You would think as we get into the 4th quarter and both teams' fatigue starts to kick in that there might be a little bit more space. So he was dragged down and holding the ball. No intention to play on. Ball will come to ground. And Maralinga will get the relieving free kick. Burton with a good lead in time and space. Can't quite catch the mark. And we'll just put it on the boot and go forward. Good work by Mundy to find a little bit of time and space, then just loses it. And lost it in the lights, it would almost seem, and the APY lines can come away again. Another forward 50 entry. Good work by Ginger. Used the body well against Smith. Smith forced into putting it to the ground, which is probably where he wouldn't want to be. And another free kick to the APY lines. Just outside the 50, over on that far side, just underneath the Gavin Wanganeen stand. For a lead in the centre, didn't quite get there. Couple of Dusty Martins on the way out, and then he will fire it down that far wing. Brought to ground, and it will go out of play again, right almost bang on halfway. So another ball in. APY lines again will clear, and again work towards with a massive torp, and the torp will find itself in the hands of Travis Smith. Love a good old-fashioned torp, almost like an American football throw. That one that did not waver off the boot. So Smith out there on the far wing. Starts his run up. Finds its way to the top of the square, off the boot. Maralinga managed to get hands on it. Still on the floor, still a hot potato in there. Handball comes out for Maralinga, and it just sneaks out of play. So there'll be a ball in. Very dangerous position for the APY lines. Does his own ruck work and manages his hand away, holding the ball. Very, very close to trying to get away with it. But Maralinga, it's a good lead, and then he has one more if he wants him. He will find him. Looks back to the centre corridor. Kicks to a contest. Ball comes out, we're holding the ball. Goes the APY line's way. Lowers his eyes, finds a target in Raymond. Raymond will send it forward, wobbly old kick. Brought to ground. Again, Maralinga with the pressure as Woods loses the handle a couple of times, but just a nuisance and keeps working at it. And Smith will just throw it on the boot, ends up in the goal square. Good defensive mark. Then they will go out to that far side. Just lost his footing, but it will go out for another ball in. APY lines again will make the clearance. Just runs around and bends around the corner. Does manage to get his kick away. Finds Smith. Smith asking for a free kick. Doesn't get one. Good feet, and then will turn and again look for a contest. Finds its way to ground. Still there. Smith will pick it up. Gets his handball away. Snapped around the body from Woods. That one will go over the goal umpire's head. Woods does very well with that one. His roving work and work with the loose ball and getting first hands to the contact and being able to do something with what has been, quite frankly, messy ball at times has been very, very impressive from Glenn Woods, the number 15 for the APY lines. Covered a fair amount of ground as well. I've seen him down back and up forward and in the midfield. He's everywhere. APY lines again, just trying to get control of it. Hasn't been as patient as they were in the first half of this football game. Another big, strong tackle. Been a signature of today's game, how tough the contact has been. High one for Maralinga. The APY lines will come out again with Woods. Just had his kick cut off. And then we'll come out to Monday. Monday will send it forward. Long, long lead. Bounces nicely for him. Ingemar can turn. Shakes away a couple, then left-footed, sends it towards the goal square. Good spoil from the back, will go through for a behind. 7.5 minutes gone in the fourth quarter. APY line 7 goals, 12 behinds, 54. Maralinga 3 goals, 7 behinds, 25. Again, the APY line's going through the corridor, happy to go through the corridor or down the wings. They've been comfortable either way all day. Gibson will take the mark and then play forward, and that's some good football from Maralinga. And finally, they've managed to string a little bit of football together. Winston will lower the eyes to his lead, and that is a good kick, and that is a good mark. And Vaughan Day, who snapped a goal in the third quarter, will have the more conventional type. Goal umpire that time didn't move, and Vaughan will add to his tally. Finally, they managed to break out of that midfield and out of that congestion and find a couple of passes and hit a couple of targets. Probably with about 7 minutes to go in this one. 6 minutes to go in this one. It'd be a big ask for Maralinga to come back. APY lines again will get the clearance. Again we'll get into 50. Oh, nearly marked it. Still in there, and umpire's ball. Again, it will come off the hands for the APY Thunder. Good defensive mark from Maralinga. Had a lead on the broadcast side. He's hung it high, and Woods again will manage to get a hand to it. Knock it out of bounds. Smith will do the ruck work, cut out by Maralinga, but Woods will pounce on it, as he has done. His roving work has been incredible all night. Maralinga hung it, the handball intercepted, and Maralinga just anywhere will do. Put it on the boot, get it out of there. APY lines will build that pressure. Another outside of the foot kick. Woods will bring it to ground, but shanked away, but it might work. Boundary line will beat everybody. Maralinga get the clearance. Good solid contact. APY lines will go again. Just a little bit too far for Smith. He got his fingertips to it and nothing else. Another ball in. So the APY line's leading this one 7 goals 12 to Maralinga 4 goals 7, 54 to 31. Smith will go around the body and lets it go a long, long way, but out on the full. And Maralinga will have another go. As we get close to the end of this one, 3 minutes to go. And another one out on the full, so the APY Lions will be able to launch another attack. Once again with a good mark, and then he will try and find a target, just held it a little bit short. And Mundy will be able to come away, sells a little bit of candy, then we'll handball inside. And they will just fire it on the boot with a ginormous kick. Strong and brave. Tyrone Hart lowers the eyes, finds a spare APY Thunder player out there. Oh, they didn't. Have they paid the marker? No, the play on. I thought they might have paid the marker initially. Style points for effort. Again, APY Lions managed to tidy up the messy ball on the floor, runs around the corner, snaps on the left foot, just pulls it a little bit too far. APY Lions, 7 goals, 13, 55. Maralinga 4 goals, 7, 31. 24 points the difference as we reach the end of this one. And right from Eddie Bett's pocket we have an attempt. Sends it out there. Oh, just off the near upright. And Groden goes up around Adelaide Oval. I think most Adelaide fans would like to see that one go through. Something about that corner of the ground. So we reach the final minute. $25 points the difference, which is the exact winning margin from 2017 that the APY Thunder beat Maralinga last year with exactly the same margin. Good mark taken by Edwards. Edwards will then send it forward, wobbly old kick forward. Knocked out of bounds. So it will be another ball in just outside the 50. About 20 seconds to go. We could end up with an identical result, and we do have an identical result to 2017. The APY Lions Thunder will take this one by 25 points. Final score, APY Lions 7 goals, 14 behinds, 56 I think they were, to the Maralinga. 4 goals, 7 behinds, 31. So exactly the same as last year. And it was a wonderful game. As the AFL preparations really start to begin now in earnest. But these young men and gentlemen from all over Australia have come down, made the journey from Ceduna and from way up north in the APY Lands and around the Ceduna area. 12 hours on a bus for Maralinga, a flight to Alice Springs, and then a 4-hour bus ride for APY Lands. They've put on a show for us here at the most wonderful football stadium in the entire country. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Dave Webb. I was joined by the great Phil Herden for the first half. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending your time with us on ITV. We hope to speak to you again soon. But just to recap, by 25 points, APY Lions Thunder victorious over Maralinga. Thank you very much for watching and good night.